Hello and welcome back. And today we are doing a Let Us Discuss on the Big Six / Project Vengeance. Now, where should I start with this? So, for those of you that aren't sure on what the Big Six is, the Big Six was going to be a new deathcore vocalized boy band, was the term that the members were throwing around. So, obviously, for those that missed it, it was going to consist originally of 6 of deathcore's bigger vocalists, in their opinion, which was Tyler Shelton of the band Traitors, Franz of Attila, Will Ramos of Lorna Shore, Dickie Allen of Scumfuck, Infant Annihilator, Abiotic, Scarlet Rot, you name it. He's had many projects. Joe Badatello of Fit for an Autopsy, and finally Taylor Barber of Left to Suffer and Phone Booth. But after a few teasers and posts on Instagram kind of announcing the project, getting us used to the members, they posted like a little teaser around Christmas time of them all kind of like deathcore harmonizing a Christmas song. It kind of went silent for a couple of days, and then on Instagram, Franz is announced to be no longer with the group. So, yeah. Some are saying it was due to all the hate he was getting for being in there, because I'm in a couple different Facebook groups, for example, to do with, like deathcore, metalcore, and other subgenres, and everyone was clowning on the project, being like, oh, Big Six, bit of a big-headed name, some of these guys aren't even deathcore vocalists, who the fuck even is Tyler Shelton? I've seen a couple people saying, why the fuck is Franz in there? Franz isn't even a good vocalist, let alone a deathcore vocalist, all this, that, and just giving it Billy Big Bollocks about the project. But they seem to definitely get the most hate for their inclusion of Franz, which is kind of stupid, because other than Will Ramos and Dickie Allen, I would say Franz was possibly the biggest name in the project at the start, because I'd heard of the band Traitors before this, but I didn't realise Tyler was the vocalist. Like, obviously I knew Joe Badatello Fit for an Autopsy, but Franz has been around for what? Since like the early 2000s or something ridiculous like that. Like, the Attila boys have been around for a while, and I've followed them for a while, so I was kind of interested to see how he would have gelled with them, considering compared to the rest of the vocalists, he has quite a unique tone to his voice and a bit of a vocal twang, so you'd be able to pick him out a lot more clearly than when, for example, Dickie and Will would be doing vocals around the same time. But I digress. But the man himself had said that there was a multitude of reasons why he left. Due to having another baby on the way with his current partner. Obviously, him running his clothing shop, Stay Sick Clothing, which takes up a fair bit of time. Apparently, Attila were soon to be going out on touring, as well as Attila working on their next album, which would obviously take up a fair amount of time with the writing and the whole process of that. So, Franz was replaced by the one and only Darius Tarani of Spite. I hope I'm saying his name correctly there. I know Darius is correct, but I don't know how you say his last name. And like I said, he was added to the pleasure of the people that follow the Big Six project and fans of Spite alike. because obviously Darius also has a very unique vocal style and sound to him when he is performing. But after this, the departure of one member and the arrival of another, we very quickly get yet another departure. This time, one of the bigger names in the band being Joe Badatello. This one was allegedly due to Joe's label not being on board with him being part of the project. Now, I don't know if this is legitimate or not, but it is the only reason I have seen online, and Tyler has alluded to record labels being a bit, what's the word, awkward about it, I guess, in a couple posts, but yeah. They teased a new member coming to fill Joe Bad's place and staying with the Big Six name. But after this, like I said, Tyler posted some cryptic posts about knowing things and being ready to expose things in the music industry, and how he was getting pissed off with record labels kind of swinging their weight around and telling people who can work on what and who can't work where and all sorts. And yeah, it was kind of weird, kind of cryptic, very out of the blue. And then I think it was for a good couple of weeks, the page goes silent. Obviously, Darius is posting, he's doing stuff with Spite. Will's off doing stuff with Lorna Shore. You've got, Tyler doing stuff with his band, dropping a new banger, getting ready for their new album. Dickie's off doing his Twitch streaming, everything. Everyone's like going about their daily business. And then out of nowhere, a post comes up on the Big Six page. But it is no longer called the Big Six. We get the announcement that the Big Six is dead. Now they are Project Vengeance. No replacement for Joe Badatello has been announced, and they are moving forward as a 5-vocalist band. And after the announcement of this change, and a couple of weeks going by, we finally get their first song, Cut.Bleed.Repeat. And after all of the wait, it was not bad, not great, kind of mediocre. The vocals were fucking muddy, and I struggled to discern one vocalist from another other than Darius, who I'm pretty sure opened the song. But after that, everyone's doing a very similar vocal style, and this is why I said it's hard to discern Dickie from Will and stuff like that, because they're all doing sort of goblin-y and you really can't work out who's saying what. Even after, I think, Tyler and Taylor did a couple Instagram posts showcasing them doing their vocals on an Instagram live and like kind of project where it was just like, oh, this is our segment of the Cut.Bleed.Repeat single. It was still a little hard to pick out, oh, that's where they are. Oh, that's what that one is. Like, yeah. Like I said, the vocals were muddy and I struggled to discern anyone. The instrumental was very loud and quite forward in the mix. And with already muddy, unclear vocals, with it being that pushed forward in the mix, it was a little awkward of the combination. But when someone brought it up in the comments of the post on their Instagram, the person on it, which I'm assuming must be Tyler, because I think Tyler Shelton is the one that put the project together and it's his like passion project sort of thing. He did acknowledge the feedback from the fans and critique, and he said that they hope to have this fixed for single number 2 going forward. So that is where we are to with the band. So, this next part is going to be a little bit of an unscripted ramble, but I won't take up too much more of your time, because this is already a fairly long ramble video. What are my hopes for the Project Vengeance project going forward? Well, ideally, my main thing I would like to see is a better single. Cut.Bleed.Repeat was a good start, but it felt very amateur from people who are such big mainstays in and around the metal and subgenres of metal. When you've got people like Will Ramos, who's literally just had an Album of the Year nomination with Lorna Shore, you've got people who have been around the industry for years in Dickie Allen. Will has been obviously in plethoras of bands as well. Tyler Barber, obviously his guys have been around for a good couple of years. They know what they're doing. I'm not sure how long Traitors and their lot have been around. Spite have been around for a while now. They've had 4 albums out. They all know what they're doing. So I'm not quite sure how they had such a muddy, unclear, unpolished first single. But that doesn't seem to have killed the hype. They've released some merch. And like I said, they've taken into account the critiques and just general pointers of the people that are invested in the project from the fan side of things, which is good, because it would be very easy for them to go, fuck you don't know what you're talking about, we've been in the industry for a while, we know what we're doing, fuck off, leave us to what we're doing, you listen to the shit when it comes out, that's all you need to do. But they haven't. They've taken into account people saying it sounds muddy, it needs a little bit of clearing up, needs a little bit of working on. They've said they are going to take that on board and hope to have that fixed, which is good. And hopefully single 2 will be a bit more unique, have a bit more character from each member, and it will be clearer. I don't know if we're going to get a full album out of this. I don't know if we're going to get a full EP out of this. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe if the Project Vengeance going forward is going to be a thing, maybe an EP, once they have a bit of free time together, drop 6 or 7 tracks as an EP, that would be cool. And the thing is, with an EP, you don't have to all have each other on every song. You could go, okay, Darius, Dickie and Tyler, you're going to be on song 1. Will and Dickie, you're going to do this song together and go for goblin vocals. Taylor and Tyler, you're going to do that one. Darius and Will are going to do this one. You can mix and match the vocal styles and play around with it and have it all sound unique each time. You don't need to have all 5 vocalists on one song every time, which you never know. That it could be what they're going to do. That's what I would like to see out of the project personally. But I still have high hopes for this moving forward. I feel like if we do get another bad single, with muddy mixing, unclear vocals, stuff like that again, it could be a bit problematic and people might start dropping off. But who knows? Like I said, at the end of the day, if this project does fail, at least these guys have still got bands outside of it that they can return to, with Dickie having 4 or 5 projects in the works, his Twitch streaming, obviously Taylor Barber, he has got his band and his solo project where he does singing and stuff. Will has got Lorna, which is still blowing the fuck up. They're killing it. Tyler's still got Traitors. Darius has still got Spite, obviously. So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. And if and when they do drop anything, you can be sure that I will either have it in a 6-song roundup. If they drop an EP, I will review that shit. If they drop an album, I will review that shit. So, we will be keeping our eyes peeled here and making sure everything is kept well under control. And if any lineup changes or any big news happens, I might end up doing a part 2 to this of a Project Vengeance. Where are they now? Who are they now? Whatever. So with that being said, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for sticking around watching this video. I know it's not that interesting. Project Vengeance has been around the internet for a while now and people have been talking about it, but I just wanted to drop my 2 cents and thought it would make a good discussion video. So I will see you in the next video, which is going to be the next installment of the 6-song roundup. And with that being said, that is goodbye, and remember to stay safe out there, my friends.